Hi, this is my monthly update on the Malaysia My Second Home program in Malaysia. I've decided to do it mid-month instead of at the beginning of the month. I am still sending out my e-newsletter at the first of each month, first or second anyway, and we charge for that a small fee, 100 ringgit a year to cover our expenses, and people who subscribe to it get a discount on our other services. And if you want to subscribe to that and you will get faster updates if anything develops, then you can do so at MM2H.com. So it's been quite an eventful few weeks in terms of some positive and sadly some negative developments. The proposed tax on people in Malaysia receiving income from overseas sources has been put on hold for individuals for a period of 5 years. So they're going to focus primarily on companies receiving offshore income, and a lot of MM2Hs were, of course, very relieved to hear that their incomes will not be subject to tax at least over the next 5 years, and hopefully the government will extend that period. There has also been a report from the Public Accounting Committee, a parliamentary committee, on the Malaysia My Second Home program, which quite frankly was quite critical. So they basically joined the chorus of voices from people both in the MM2H business and also the media, which has been generally quite critical of the new proposals. Sadly, it does not seem to have had any impact on the Ministry of Home Affairs, and the Minister came out and reiterated that he still wants to stick to the new rules for the program, believing that it will produce quality applicants. Now, there is no evidence that we've seen that suggests that it will. The correlation between wealth and quality is questionable in itself, but in addition to that, a lot of the people who currently come into the program are high quality people making a very strong contribution, billions of ringgit, to the economy, and they've been doing this for many years. The number of people interested in the new program with the terms that have been set up is extremely low. The Parliamentary Public Accounting Committee actually made a specific mention of the fact that the ministry did not seem to have engaged with stakeholders when coming up with the new rules, and also that there was no indication that, as the ministry had stated earlier, there was any link to national security with the visa. So they basically addressed those two concerns, but although the minister no longer refers to the national security risk, he still insists there will be a higher quality applicant. Certainly they will be very desperate to get in, or they will have high incomes. But as we've said, and as our research shows, very few people are willing to put R1 million on a fixed deposit, which will almost certainly depreciate in value, sadly, as the ringgit has been declining in value for many years, and in addition pays a very low interest rate. So that's not good news. There will be an election in mid-year. Some people are hopeful a new government will come in and they will be perhaps willing to make changes to the terms and conditions, because we've shown that there will be very, very few applicants for the new program. We had dozens of people interested in joining it during the pandemic, only to withdraw their applications when they heard about the new rules. So there is no way that the program, with the number of applicants they're likely to get, is going to make any meaningful contribution to the country. And since this whole effort and the idea of the new rules was to aid the national economic recovery, it's very hard to see that that's going to happen or how it will happen. So that's not good news, but we're still hopeful that common sense will prevail and there will be a change at some point. In terms of the COVID situation in Malaysia, we do not seem to have been hit that hard with Omicron, although it seems extremely unlikely that we will avoid it. But cases have been coming down. Fortunately, deaths have been declining. The country has not yet opened its borders, and I think Omicron's played a large part in that decision. They have started VTL flights, vaccinated travel lane flights. They started them between Singapore and Malaysia, but reservations for those have been suspended because of concerns about the spread of the virus. Although I think the VTL flights going to Langkawi are still operational. You have to have a lot of COVID tests, but it is possible to get into Malaysia through Langkawi. If you stay there 7 days, they do allow you to come to the mainland as long as your COVID tests are clear. And we're still hopeful that soon there will be an easing of the restrictions generally on border entries. There's a lot of very well qualified medical experts who believe that governments have probably overreacted to the virus, particularly in terms of the younger population who are less vulnerable to it. So we're hopeful things will move forward. We are seeing an interest in the Sarawak visa. A number of people have said they will apply for it. At this time, the MM2H visa issued in Sarawak is valid in West Malaysia. We do not know if that will continue, but there's been no suggestion that they will withdraw it, although it is a possibility given the very different terms and conditions for that visa versus the national federal program. But Sarawak is a great place to live if you decide that you want to come and live in Malaysia. And you'll always be able to come over and visit the mainland. So that's it for now. We are doing a survey to see what expats feel about Malaysia. There was rather sad news. Malaysia used to be ranked the most attractive place to retire in Asia, and it achieved that ranking in an annual survey done by International Living, and it's been the first choice for many years, and the Ministry of Tourism actually used that information to help market the Malaysia My Second Home visa. However, we've now dropped below Thailand in that ranking, and sadly the woman who used to run International Living, who's now started up her own business, came up with her own ranking of the top 15 places, and Thailand and Bali, Indonesia, both appeared in that list at 9th and 15th place respectively. Malaysia was not mentioned. So clearly some of the things that have been happening have turned off these international rankings and lowered our position, which I think is a sad day for Malaysia. And we're also seeing indications that people looking to invest in Malaysia, corporations thinking of investing, have been turned off by some of the recent things that have happened against the expat community as it's seen by most expats. So we're doing a survey right now. You can find out more about it on Expat Go. Look for the article asking for your opinions. If you've got a residence visa, please complete it. We'll be providing the results of it very soon. Initial inspection of it suggests that expats do not feel appreciated at all in this country, and a number of them consequently are thinking of leaving. Okay, not the best at the moment, but we remain hopeful things will improve. Have a great month. Next video will be out in the middle of February. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. Bye.